G'day, this is Captain Noob, and this is the Ruger AC-556, and for short sake I'll just call it the Ruger. So this weapon here is a highly customizable standalone weapon, and it contains custom meshes, textures, all of that usual stuff. Sounds too. So going into the attachments here, first of all we get the barrels, which is kind of strange, so we can either choose between an auto long or short barrel or semi-auto long or short barrel. We'll go ahead and chuck on the long auto barrel, and that'll give us more damage. Next up for the stock, we've got the folding stock or expanding stock, and this will increase the accuracy and that'll make it better. Next up we've got the 30 round clipazine. What the fuck? I think it's a magazine. Anyway, this thing goes all the way up to 40 rounds because 40 rounds is the best. We'll chuck that on. Next up for the sights, we've got the standard sights, which are on now. We've got the scout scope, which would be kind of useful if you use this thing on a semi-automatic platform with sniper, but we'll go ahead and chuck on the green dot sight there, and that'll be good. Next up for the muzzle, we definitely want a suppressor on there, because not only that will that increase our damage, that'll make us a lot more stealthy, and this thing almost is 10,000 caps worth of weapons, so you better believe it's good, I suppose. And if you went ahead and chucked a legendary effect on this, that jumps up to almost 30,000, so if you don't like this weapon, you can sell it for a pretty high price. But anyway, let's get into Gunner's Plaza here. Okay, welcome to Gunner's Plaza, and is it a little bit chilly in here, you reckon? Anyway, so we'll get started with the Ruger as soon as possible. We'll just get around the corner here and start shooting these gunners. So in terms of performance, this thing is pretty good. And as you can tell there, the reload animation is particularly vulgar, because basically what you do is you flip off your enemies whilst you do it. So that's interesting. In terms of the reload in itself, it's not the best I've seen, but a custom reload is fairly decent, I suppose. It's nothing too great, but it works for what it is, so that's kind of interesting. Quickly get a reload off, and yeah, it's going to be hard to take this weapon very seriously if I can't reload it properly without seeing that. But if you go ahead and switch into third person, you can completely negate that, because this thing uses standard combat rifle animations, I believe. Ow. Alright, let's just go up nice and close and spray him down, I suppose. And for some reason, I turned my comments down to low to stop her from mouthing off and destroying my train of thought, but for some reason she decides to yap even though I turned all of that stuff off.
Something like that.
Yeah, I still have the player comments activated here. I still think it's a pretty neat mod, and I think it's a really good use of the voice files that are in the game of having the voice protagonist. We put the finger up at him, and he's going to die. Now, in terms of the weapon performance, yeah, it's doing really well. If you can see from the weapon card at the start, obviously the weapon's going to perform well, and the 40 round mag on par with combat rifles is going to be very useful. And that reload, man, bloody hell. Anyways, we'll go ahead and chuck this gunner into hell, I suppose. So we'll get rid of him nice and easily. So pretty decently accurate even when you hip firing, so it's got that going for it. The models and textures, whilst they didn't look too good in the weapons preview, seem to look a lot better when you're actually playing, which is nice. We'll get rid of these gunners here, and there's absolutely no recoil to this weapon, which is really, really interesting. And did I knock out both of her legs? Is that why she's down there like that? I don't know. But let's get one last flip off before we go ahead and kill the gunner. So we throw a mag at them and then we flip them off just to add insult to injury. And now they're dead. Yours too, turret, and we'll kill the next one. And that'll be just about it for Gunner's Plaza. For some reason my frame rate is still chugging. That is because I'm sitting in a really hot room here. The Australian summer is approaching and my computer's struggling to actually keep cool. But we'll go ahead and move on to Swan, I reckon. So there's Swan down there amongst a bunch of Rust Devils, and here we are in a particularly snowy Commonwealth today. This is the Seasons mod that you can find on the Nexus, and I just chucked it in to give us something else to look at other than the dreary low quality Commonwealth that we usually end up seeing. And of course I've given Matilda here a wardrobe sup to just sort of accommodate that, because I don't think she'd be too comfortable running around in the Grognak costume in this sort of weather. So, oh god. Since it is, since it is the middle of the day here, I should say, bloody hell, I'm losing my train of thought reading the subtitles every time it comes up. Yeah, since it is the middle of the day here, we're not as stealthy as we usually are, but I think we can take out Swan nice and easily if I could just keep on shooting him there. So I'm not even attempting to control the recoil here, I'm just going to let the mouse go where it is, and as you can tell, it's there's no recoil for this weapon to even control, so it's an easy thing. I'm just going to keep the mouse in one place, and if you can notice ever so slightly that the muzzle actually is pushed down by the recoil, so controlling this thing is super easy. You could do it with a console controller super easily as well. But I'm going to make this thing shoot faster artificially by teabagging as I do it, and for some reason that makes it shoot really fast. I don't know how that works, but I suppose you can figure that out, or if you figure it out, please email me and explain how. And we're constantly shooting Swan here. I think we're pushing just out of this Ruger's range here, so we're not doing as well as we normally would. But that reload in first person just takes too long, I reckon. But he's definitely in range now because he is taking a lot of damage. And he should be dead soon.
That ought to do it.
Not ought to do it. Okay, now he's actually hitting us now. Into VATS we go. Quickly get a shot on him. And once he's done with that little VATS, once we're done with that little VATS defense, we'll go ahead and shoot him in the face some more. As you can tell there, we're doing pretty good damage. We'll go ahead and land some crits at him. And even more crits. And even more crits if I have him left. No, I ran out of action points, that's fine. He does his stomp, but misses. And we'll go ahead and crit him, and that'll probably kill him. Yep, there's the XP, and he's about to fall down. And he glitches and teleports around because his body's too big for the game to recognize. And in the last little bit of disrespect, we flip him off while reloading. So that was this thing against Swan. I believe we can go against one more monster, and I believe we'll call it a video there. This thing's pretty basic, all things considered. Okay, so there's a giant Mirelurk over there. Let's go ahead and take him out and see what we can do. Obviously, we're in the night now, so hopefully we'll be getting a little bit better with the stealth attacks here, and we should be good to take him out as long as he just doesn't get a little bit too close. And bloody hell, would you please shut your mouth? I might need to disable the player comments mod because it's a little bit too much. But we'll go ahead and shoot him in the face just because this thing is relatively good on VATS points.
That works for me.
So we'll... Yeah, he's going to have a stable diet of bullets here. Unfortunately, he did get a hit on us there and did quite a bit of damage. But we'll just go ahead and go into the freezing cold water here. I don't think she'll mind. She's got a good leather jacket on. She'll be right. And we'll sort of wait for him to come back over here. And since this guy can't attack in the water, we'll be able to take him out easily. Just quickly move away from him now and exploit using this water here. Ooh, there's a lobster over there. I'm going to kill him too. Quickly take him out. I think I just swim through some... Oh, okay, we've gone into nerd rage here. He's hit us just one too many times, so guess what? You get to die now, Mirelurk. This thing is too much. There we go. Finally took him out. Now it's time to kill this bloody lobster here. Yeah, you're in way out of your league, mate. And we'll flip him off as we reload. So I think that is about as good a time as any to leave it off there. This thing, obviously, it's got a custom reload animation, which is kind of amusing. And yeah, it does alright. It's got good damage, but it's really not too different from the weapons that are already in the game in itself. And yeah, if you go ahead and look at a dead creature, your player will stare in awe if you got the player comments on. I'm gonna need a way to make her a little bit more quiet in video so I can actually commentate properly, but I think you get the idea of this weapon. If you'd like to see this thing in your game, be sure to check out the description. And if you'd like to steal this outfit here for yourself, because I reckon it looks kind of cool, I'll put up a list of what clothing mods I used to actually get this, and you can have that for yourself if you like the look. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys.